Hello, it's Phil at Digital DJ Tips with a quick overview of the new Pulselocker integration for streaming music within Serato DJ. Pulselocker lets DJs have 44 million tunes from nearly 500,000 labels, and its killer features are that you can download them and keep them locally, so you don't need to be online or worry about your internet dropping out in the middle of a performance. And also, they're fully legal for DJing in the territories where Pulselocker is available. So quite exciting. Let's see how it works. When you first start up Serato DJ, you'll notice on the left-hand side is a new folder called Pulselocker. When you click on here, it will prompt you to sign up to the service. I found it very clunky, and indeed it wouldn't work with Facebook. I could get signed up with my email address though, and once I was signed up, it's a free 2-week trial at the time of recording this for everyone. Once I was signed up, I got a few new buttons: store offline and stream only here, and a little cloud here. And this cloud turns on or off the streaming search, which is probably where you're going to end up starting. So for instance, if I wanted to just quickly search for some old school music, I can type it into there, and reasonably quickly a lot of tunes appear with that moniker on them. And then I look down the list and think, hey, Don't You Want Me? I remember that was a classic. I can pull it up onto the deck and it appears very quickly. And I can now beat grid that. I can now make cues and flips and so on with it. I can't record my sets because it won't let the record button work, or it won't let me load if the record button's already been pressed. So there's a licensing issue there. So that's one thing you can't do. But it really does feel like you've got that track locally. Now, if you want to store it locally, you can click Store Offline. It'll download that track. A little arrow appears to say that's downloading, and that arrow, rather than a cloud on the left-hand side, tells you that's local. Now, within the Pulselocker folder, there is a folder called Offline Tracks, and you can see in here I have my offline tracks. These are tracks that I've downloaded. Now, there's also a folder called Playlists. Now, this has a folder that I've put here called Requests. Now, I can't do anything with this folder. I can't add folders. I can't delete this folder. I can't change what's in it. I can have a crate, and I can call this whatever I wanted, and I can put my Pulselocker tunes into this crate here. So I can arrange Pulselocker music with my normal music, but this is a special playlist folder here, and this playlist folder comes from the Pulselocker website. So let's go and have a look at the Pulselocker website. The Pulselocker website is a bit like Apple Music, a bit like Google Play, a bit like Spotify. It's got all the tracks available there, and you can do lots of work listening to them. There's something called the beat selector that just kind of plays in the background from your favorite genres. There's an explore area where you've got favorite genres. You've also got other genres you can explore, and you can add and take them away from your favorites. And when you just drill down into it, there's a hell of a lot of music here that you can listen to. One thing I really don't like about this is it's forcing you to use the Flash player to listen. Let's have HTML5 on here, please, guys. And then when you find stuff you like, just like in all those other streaming services, you can drag them into your music, and you can have playlists as well. And this is where that requests playlist is. You can add playlists here and you can drag stuff into it. So I've chosen a tune that I absolutely despise. I would never be caught dead playing unless I was DJing at a wedding and the bride came up to me demanding that I played it, and if I didn't play that tune, I would probably end up dead anyway. So I would have no choice in that circumstance. So that is a good use of this kind of thing. You can have a whole list of stuff that you just wouldn't want to ever have in your collection, wouldn't ever play unless there was real circumstances for you needing to, and you can arrange it in playlists in here, and then those playlists will show for you in Serato DJ here. There's that tune there. You can't do this on the fly, by the way. I can't just head over to there and add stuff to this playlist and then come back here and see it. You need to have a reboot. But it doesn't matter, because if there is a last minute request, as you've seen, you can just type in here, turn this on, and it'll find it. So if someone asks me for something by Chicane, for instance, I've only got one tune in my local library, but hey, look, here's loads of tunes in my library on Pulselocker. Absolutely stacks of them. Now you can see one problem here. Although it's found me loads of music, there certainly isn't all the music by Chicane here. I know that because I know the band reasonably well. So there's big gaps in this so-called 44 million catalogue. But also there's an awful lot of overlap. This is exactly the same tune here appearing 20 times. So I'd like to see this sorted out. I'd like to see duplicates removed, and I'd like to see this catalogue broader than the 44 million moniker might suggest. But that said, it's still in beta over on this site. It's not in beta on the integration in Serato, but it is in beta on Pulselocker. So they're still working on getting this right. It's certainly not a bad version 1. So good points, pretty high quality music, 320 MP3. You can have it on 3 devices, although only on one at the same time. So, a couple of integrations if you want. The bad points, we've covered most of the ones that I found on our quick play. You can't mess around with your Pulselocker playlist within the software, which is a shame. Some of the tunes are badly labelled. On that old school list I had, they weren't called what they should have been. For instance, that one that's still loaded at the top, Don't You Want Me? It says it's by an act called Old School Unlimited, when in fact it is definitely by Felix. However, you can go and change that, and this is a good thing. I can change that in the metadata, no problem there. And right as now, there's no downloadable app for your Android or iOS phone. It would be great to see an app on there, because this is at its heart a streaming music service that has been plugged in to Serato DJ. So for this to succeed, you would hope that the makers would have nice streaming apps so you can use it as your music discovery service when you're out and about, tag tunes, put them into playlists, and when you arrive in your DJ software, there they all are. And it's not particularly cheap. It's $20 a month after the 2-week free trial if you want to keep the stuff offline, which I suggest you definitely want to do in order to DJ seriously with it. It would be a brave person who relied on this for all their music at this point in time, but this is the way it's going, and this is one of the better integrations of a streaming service within DJ software that we've seen so far. Certainly exciting times for streaming music within DJ software. So there you go, our first quick review of Serato DJ with its Pulselocker integration. If you've enjoyed this, please subscribe to the channel. You can do so underneath, and you can also subscribe to Digital DJ Tips by clicking the link. Thank you very much for watching and listening to this.